Okay, everyone, welcome back to the Black Carnivore live stream. I'm Ade, otherwise known as Black Carnivore, and I'm really excited to be here today and talk to you about my experience of carnivore on the road. Yeah, let's get into it. So, sorry, I want to apologize first off about my whole camera lighting, thing going on here. I do not have good lighting, and I haven't quite gotten my whole setup together. When I came here, I was not expecting to be here as long as I am, and it's now looking like I'm going to be here through maybe through July, I think. So, as some of you may or may not know, so I was planning on moving to North Carolina, and I've sent all my stuff to North Carolina. But during the process of my move, my uncle had a stroke, a major stroke, and so I decided to come to see about him, and and try to get him back, back on track. So it's actually, it's looking like, I don't know if any of you like know what it's like to be, to deal with like nursing homes or rehab centers, but a lot of them are terrible. So I really didn't feel like I could leave him here without doing without like doing a lot to make sure that, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing in the time frame that they're supposed to be doing it, because he's pretty vulnerable right now and not able to even to feed himself, to turn over, to adjust himself in bed, or, get up or anything like that. So, yeah, I'm here for a while doing that. And yeah, I missed you guys too. Hey, Tova, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Yeah, I missed being here and doing the live stream and doing videos and stuff like that too. So, but now that my uncle's a little bit more situated, I am definitely going to have more time to be able to do this stuff. So I hope to be putting together some more videos and having a chance to talk to all of you. So I'm looking forward to more of that. But I did want to talk about what it's been like, eating while on the road. And I, so I thought it was going to be really, really hard, and that I would, just kind of have a challenging time. But honestly, it has not been as hard as I thought it was going to be, and I haven't had as many temptations as I thought that I might have. So I don't know, I feel like at a certain point, like this way of eating just works, and it becomes so much a part of you that, it doesn't matter what the circumstances are, or where you are, or who you're with, or what the food is, like you can just do this. And there have been times when there wasn't food that I wanted to have, so I didn't eat anything, even though I was hungry. Like I feel like I've gotten to the point where it's just, this is just what I do. And if there's nothing available, I just don't want to eat. I don't want to, don't have the desire to choose a lesser option. And really it's because like I just know how good I feel eating this way, and how bad I feel when I eat differently. So it is, this is like, I don't know, this is the best thing ever. Like it's the best thing I've ever done. So I'd love to hear from you what you guys think, and let's see how you deal with being out and about and not being in full control of your food. So Tova says, much prayers towards your uncle's healing. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Yeah, definitely. He needs a lot of prayers. This is, it's going to be a long road, definitely. And, of course, for me, this is a reminder to, really take my health seriously from now, going forward. He's had diabetes for a long time, and he's had what they called, well-controlled diabetes. So, they tell me, if as long as his numbers don't go over 200, they're not worried about it. He's not on insulin at this point, and it's kind of like, oh, okay. Um, numbers not over 200 seems, that still seems really high to me. Um, and so I wonder, at this point, well, right before the stroke, there was already significant cognitive decline. So we were in the process of trying to get him into assisted living because it was just became clear he was not able to take care of himself on his own. And so he had an MRI to look at his brain and kind of figure out what was going on, and it showed atrophy in the brain, which I don't know, is this like type 3 diabetes as they talk about it, where it has this impact on the brain, but he had significant brain atrophy, and then also there was evidence of two prior strokes. So, there's like, I don't know. I don't know if that is recoverable or what, but it definitely is just, a real indication like we have got to take care of our health, and I don't know. Lorraine Peck, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Nikki says, "Hey, A-Day, sorry you're going through that, but your uncle is blessed to have you." Yes, he is definitely blessed to have me. And man, I have made myself a total pain in the butt. I am sure those people just cannot stand me and cannot stand the sight of me. But on the upside, that has kept them on their toes. And, he is getting the care that he needs. He's getting I mean, they didn't even have him on a bariatric bed, which meant that he was in danger of falling out of the bed because it was too narrow. They finally got one of those air mattresses that, blows up and like moves around so that, you don't get pressure points and bed sores and that sort of thing. I mean, so it's been a whole process, but we made great progress. Douglas says it's easier than you think. Also, Brazilian steakhouses are a gold mine on the road. Oh yeah, totally. So actually right before I left New York, a friend of mine took me to Plataforma, I think it's called, in I don't know, Midtown, New York City. And so that was really a delight. It was wonderful to have that opportunity. And there was a lot of delicious stuff that they brought around. So I really enjoyed that a lot. Now, again, it was kind of lean. I mean, I feel like at this point, I don't know where you can find fatty meat. Maybe at a good barbecue, but I don't know where else. So even at Plataforma, it was pretty lean. And that was something I noticed. And so there was a limit to how much I could, how much I wanted to or how much I could eat. So, yeah. Mommy Does Keto says, "Hey, Ada, we've missed you." Oh my God, I've missed you too. I know, I know. I feel like it's been a million years. It's only been 2 weeks, but it feels like it's been forever. And yeah, I got a lot of messages too from people saying, "Hey, when are you coming back?" Because I've missed you and wondering what's going on. So yeah, I'm glad to be back. Um, Leslie, yeah, I'm really glad I'm there for him too. And I guess it's kind of weird because he and my mom look so much alike. And he hasn't done like FaceTime and stuff like that or Zoom through the whole pandemic. So I haven't actually seen him face to face in a long time. And so seeing him, it's just like a reminder of how much, it's a reminder of my mom and, her on her deathbed. So it just, I don't know, this has all been sort of surreal this time. But yeah, so it's good to, this is part of life, and I feel like at as I've been saying to you all, I'm 50, I'm about to turn 51, and I'm looking forward to the second half of my life being different than the first half and to approaching it in, a much healthier way. And I feel like what I'm trying to do now is live a little bit more in the moment and just appreciate each moment. And so right now, this is what this moment is, and it is advocating for my uncle, being there, and being in this new and different place and exploring it, and kind of learning to live in this kind of space, and in this place. So yeah, um it's fine. I'm just, it's fine. And I'm learning to live eating carnivore in a different way, and that's really cool too. So I've enjoyed that. Mommy does keto. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, he's definitely lucky to have me. Glenda, thank you. I am back. Thank you. So, so yeah, I wanted to talk about, what what I've been eating, how I've made this work. When I was moving, I really wanted to go the minimalist route and just kind of get rid of as much as I possibly could. And I, at the last minute, decided to leave my air fryer and instant pot. I took my Soda Stream, but I left the air fryer in the Instant Pot, and I just decided I didn't want to deal with packing it. And, honestly, my air fryer is, it's a workhorse, but it is not clean inside. Like, I cleaned the basket, and, the rack that's inside, but like, the coils and the oven, or the mechanism itself that does the heating and the cooking, that's not cleaned at all. And I thought, I don't know if I want to put that in a box, and then who knows, how long before I unpack it and blah blah blah. And I don't know, it seemed like maybe not such a good idea. So I just let it go. So while here, I've ordered out a bit, and I've gone to the grocery store. So I've bought, and surprisingly, I thought meat would be way cheaper here. It is not at all. I'm in Albany, New York, and I did, splurge and get myself a ribeye, which was like 18.99 a pound. And I was like, what? I'm not even at Whole Foods. Like, what? I don't understand this at all. So, but yeah, it was good. I ate it. I fried it on the stovetop, and that was really nice. But I've mostly been eating eggs and ground beef, and then I've been ordering out. So when I've gone to order out, I have gotten a variety of things, actually. I had sautéed salmon a while back, a couple of days ago, and it was great. I mean, I was like really surprised. It was not sweet, there was no sweetener, and the skin was crispy. The exterior of it was crispy. Now I don't know how they cooked it. There might have been some seed oil involved. But otherwise, it was really good. So I was like, okay. And the thing that I made sure to do, ugh, excuse me, it's been a long day, was travel with butter. So I just always have some butter on me, and I just slathered it in butter, and it was, good to go. So I don't know. I was really impressed with how that went. And the day that I moved, I actually, what did I do? So the day that I moved, I ended up air frying like 3 pounds of ground beef into meatballs, so that I would have some food with me. And so I was able to eat that like the day of, the trip. So when we stopped at like a rest stop, I didn't bother with eating any junk or anything like that. And then and I had butter with me, and I brought pork rinds. So that kind of filled that first day. And then I ordered out at a Jamaican restaurant. I got jerk chicken, and that was marinated. I told them to put the sauce on the side. The sauce was a little sweet, so I didn't have that. But the chicken was, it was great, and it was not sweet. So yeah, it just really worked out. Douglas Somerville, thank you so much for the super chat. It is time to buy a smoker. So as soon as I get settled, I will think about buying some of these things again. I've got to figure out what it makes sense to do. My uncle is not going to be coming back to live, here in his apartment at all. So, doesn't make sense to buy a whole lot of things. But I did have to buy like a frying pan and a spatula and stuff like that. So I don't know. I'll see what I end up doing. But I was thinking about getting an air fryer again because it is just a really easy way to cook, and it opens up the types of things that I can have. Right now, I saw at the supermarket, I saw what was it, chuck roast on sale for 3.99 a pound. It was like, oh, but his stove is just kind of a mess. The whole thing is a mess. So I don't want to be bothered with cooking in that situation. So we'll see. Yeah. Mommy Does Keto says find an Aldi girl. Yeah, I've got to look for an Aldi, or completely, forgot about that. So yeah, that's a great idea to look for an Aldi. And any other suggestions? I'm not a member of Costco. I don't know if that's something that makes sense to join at this point, but let me know what you think, whether I should do that. Because yeah, I'm gonna probably be here until the end of the month, and after that, I don't know. Um, Okay, Leslie says I got fatty beef ribs from Texas Best in Tyler, Texas. Nice. Yeah. So I have been eating a lot of butter as a way to supplement my fat. It is, like I said, restaurants, you can get your meat and, but you can't always get as much fat as you want. So, yeah, good to see you, Susie Underwood. That's awesome. Yeah, so I have been eating out a lot. I've gotten a lot of hamburgers with no bun, and then double order of bacon, but it's still lean. So like I said, I've been carrying butter in my purse, and that really helps a lot. So I think you can do it. I mean, I think it is pretty easy to do carnivore, eating out all the time, getting, food from restaurants. You just got to carry that fat with you. And I think I might switch over to carrying lard or tallow, so it's not always butter. I mean, I really do like butter, of course, but I think it is helpful to eat some of the other stuff as well. And carrying it in like a Pyrex with that plastic lid on it, or even in a wide mouth mason jar, a small one, that would really work. And um, yeah. But I do feel like I have encountered seed oils more than I expected. I've noticed that the eczema on my hands started to flare up a bit more. I was itchy more. So it is out there. And I'm not sure exactly where it is, but I haven't been super, strict about saying, hey, can you make sure to fry that in butter? So I think that I do need to be more clear about that. But on the other hand, I've been out and at restaurants that I didn't feel like I wanted to eat there. There were, a lot of fried stuff like wings and French fries and curly fries and, you know, all the stuff. But, I know that almost everything there is gonna have seed oils, and it's not gonna be that good. And so even though hungry, I'm willing to just sit through that and wait until I get home, or somewhere else where I can get a better option. So it's just really cool to me to know that that is really possible on carnivore. And I don't think that at all I would have been able to do that at all in my, former eating career, so to speak, eating, all the kind of junk, waiting while other people are eating would have been unthinkable, just unthinkable. So it's so many things have changed for me going carnivore, and what I'm capable of has changed so much. So I definitely think that it's important to give this way a try and see what it does for you. So let's see. Leslie Freeman says, "Nice air fryer." Oh, I think she's talking about the Kosori Dual Blaze. Okay, all right. So yeah, I may as well look at a new brand too. I had the Ninja and I really liked it. but I could try something else. Um, Douglas says Costco makes sense. Good prices on meat and discounted gas. Well, man, now that I'm out with a car, oh my God, what is going on with gas? I am stunned and astounded by how expensive it is. So, yeah, yeah. And I'm doing a lot of driving. The one downside with or one of the many downsides with the rehab center for my uncle is that it's a 40-minute drive from his house. So it is, not at all convenient. And it's it's just a lot of driving. Although I miss driving so much, I miss it. So when I get behind the wheel, it's like, this is what I've been waiting for. Yeah. Okay, so any wholesale club will do. Yeah. Um, Mandel says getting two McDoubles, no bun as we speak. Excellent, excellent. So I have not done that yet. I haven't gone through any of the fast food places. I just we've been going to regular full-on restaurants, and I mean, it certainly is more expensive going to a full-on restaurant and asking for a burger or salmon and extra bacon and all of that. So it's not cheap. But I decided that I was just going to go ahead and accept that there's an expense there, and that I'm just gonna accept the expense. So that's been okay. But I, may at some point need to go ahead with the burgers from McDonald's. So we'll see. And let's see, Nikki says, I went out to eat with a friend, and now I know what you mean about smelling seed oil. Yes, yes. So tell me, for the rest of you, can you smell it too? Like I can totally smell it when there's a seed oil. And my uncle's let's see if I get this right. My uncle's granddaughter also came up with me, and we spent time together helping him, and and she eats like just a regular person, but she does cook. And so she got some groceries as well and asked me to, and I was going into the grocery store, and she said, can you pick me up with some cooking oil, so I can make this meal. And so I picked it up. I don't know. I don't know. I should have said no, or I don't know, gave her a whole speech, but I was just like, like this is a difficult time, like I'm not going to harass her or whatever. So I, got a bottle of canola oil, and she made this chicken dish. And man, just the whole apartment smelled like the seed oil, and I just thought, wow, this is so noticeable. Like I can't believe it. And she, offered me some of the chicken, and I was like, oh, I don't want to be rude, and this is really polite of her to make this for me and everything, but God, I don't want to eat this. Like I can tell it's going to be a problem. And it could also have been that, not only seed oil from eating out, but like we were using the same pan. And of course, I was washing the pan between use, but I could still smell the seed oil in the pan. So I don't know if it can stick to the pan or some layer of it stays in there, but I feel like I had a lot more exposure to seed oil over the last week than I normally do. So I don't know. I don't know, but there you go. Um, let's see. Mandel says, how's the pollen type allergies with the seed oil? I didn't really have any problems there. I haven't had any kind of allergy response up here. So I guess that's okay. But definitely, like I said, my eczema on my hands was definitely flaring up. So it that I think that's where I noticed the response for me. Yeah, mommy does keto, says not possible in your sad days. Yeah, so not like giving in to what everybody else is eating was not possible. And yeah, when everybody else was eating something different, like I would feel kind of like, I don't want to be different. Like, I don't, everybody's doing this. Let me do it too. I don't want to do something that's weird or makes people uncomfortable or makes people feel like I don't know, I'm not part of the crowd. I'm not doing what everybody else is doing. And, so it was just a lot harder, I feel like, to resist the peer pressure. So, um, so that was a challenge. It definitely was a challenge, and I feel like a lot of times we don't really give enough credence to, like, the importance, or the role that food plays in our lives, and as a former anthropologist, our culture is important, and the way that it's conveyed is one of the ways that it's conveyed is through food, and the type of food that we eat, what we cook, who's cooking it, who eats first, there are all kinds of social rules around food, like all of that is used to create our identities, to express our roles in the family, and food is all wrapped up in that. So when you kind of change your food and your relationship to food, like it has, a pretty big ripple effect amongst your friends and family. So that's something to think about. It doesn't mean that you can't overcome that, you can't make different changes, but you have to recognize that, that is going to be a challenge. And it's a challenge for a couple of years because I think, there's so many different places where, food has this emotional or cultural role. And, over the course of a year, you don't necessarily hit all of those moments in time where food is playing that role, especially. So it takes a couple of years to like hit every holiday, every possible occasion where food is a plays an important social role. So yeah. Okay, Mommy Does Keto says 4.99 a gallon here in Hudson Valley, New York. What's oh yeah, 4.99 a gallon for the gas. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. So crazy. Crazy. Let's see. Mandel says oftentimes get luncheon meat and cheese at Aldi where when I haven't gotten to make lunch. A carton of half and half and the snack meat sticks. Perfect. Yeah. That'll work. So, do you, what do you do to get more fat? Because that still sounds kind of lean if you're getting luncheon meat and cheese. Even with the half and half, that still sounds kind of lean. Um, yeah. So half and half, mommy does keto. Yeah, half and half can definitely work. Susie says, I have only gone out to eat once since going animal based, but I will have to see if I can smell the seed oils next time in a restaurant. I'm sure you can. I'm sure you can. And you probably could smell it before. You just didn't, know what it was or think about it. And now that you've had some time away from it and coming back, you'll definitely notice it. Mandel says, I never was good eating cheap seed oils. I found out I don't much care for it on my hands uh, doing concrete. Got bumps, it's just unpleasant. I just put it on my boots and tools. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe just even, coming in contact with it on my skin, let alone, not even eating it, just coming in contact with it. Maybe that was what was causing the problem for me too. That's entirely possible. But I think that when you're cooking with it, I mean, if you can smell it all over the apartment, that means like it has, aerosolized and dispersed all through the apartment. So, I don't know. I really don't know. So, but my I don't know, I call her my niece, but she was definitely curious about this way of eating, but was like, but wait, no rice, no chocolate, no nothing, how does that gonna work? So, I get it. It can be a challenge. And actually one morning she rushed into the kitchen and was like, "Oh, what's that?" And she was like, "It smells like pancakes in here." And then she saw that I was browning butter in a pan and she was like, "Oh man." But I looked at it and I was like, I realized, yeah, it does smell like pancakes. And then I thought, wow, when I used to make pancakes, I used to love to like get the butter nice and brown and cook the pancake in it. And the smell of the browning butter is what I remember to be the smell of pancakes. So it was funny that, that smell, even for her, was very evocative. And I thought, well, I'm kind of getting the experience of pancakes that I used to want. And so I kind of felt like, I'm not really missing anything. I may have once thought I was missing pancakes, but no, with the brown butter, I'm more or less getting all of it. So yeah, that was actually pretty cool. Okay, Mommy Does Keto says typically it smells like fried food, right? I can tell when it's corn oil. Douglas, you're right. If you can smell it, you're tasting it. Yeah, you're absolutely right. So I don't know if that makes a difference. Being in, maybe that was it. I'll see, because she went back to Brooklyn for the next couple of days and may come back next week. So I'll see over the next couple of days if I'm cooking on my own and don't have that, the seed oil. I'll see, if I feel any different. If I do, that might be a really good sign. It will be helpful for me to know that, definitely. Nikki says brown butter is so good. What do you do with your brown butter? So I don't, brown it in advance of doing anything. I just, brown it and then go ahead and cook. So I've been cooking a lot of ground beef, and so I brown the butter first, and then, just put the ground beef in it and cook it, and it's been really good. And adding an egg or two, so it's been really good. I've enjoyed it. And then I don't know how, like I've been really good about keeping track of things, but somehow I went to the first Airbnb and I had like a couple of things with me, some Pyrex bowls and a salt container, and I don't know, somehow this disappeared. So then I had to go and buy more salt and more stuff, and but they didn't have the same kind of salt that I had, so I got Grace Celtic sea salt, and it's kind of coarse ground, I guess, and it's I think it's saltier than salt than I'm used to salt being, which is weird. So when I put on too much and it gets too salty, so that's kind of been, I've got to moderate that. So have you guys ever tried? It's like French Celtic sea salt. Let me know if you've tried it and you like it. It's new for me. Okay, Mommy Does Keto says people will not let go of their rice or bread. I've been trying to convince my sister-in-law, and she says she prefers rice over meat. Not surprised. You get a lot of sugar loaded up with butter, and yeah, not surprised. I'm sorry that's the case, Mommy Does Keto. Hopefully, she will turn that around. Susie, yeah, butter is better than batter. Butter is better than batter. I That is a tongue twister there. And Mandel says hot pan full of stick butter, can of sardines or tuna, and 4 eggs. My new regular breakfast. Nice, nice. You know, well, I'm still kind of iffy on sardines, but I have definitely enjoyed taking canned salmon and frying it up in butter. Oh my God. And yeah, and I had made my salmon croquettes and I've had the recipe and showed you all how to do that. But I also feel like you don't have to do that. Like just frying it up in a pan with butter, like is good all on its own, and I didn't realize that before, but yeah, it's good all on its own. Ah, great idea, Mandel. Now I know what I'm gonna go, what I'm gonna get at the grocery store next time, because I've been having, the ground beef because that has been really cheap, but everything else up here, man, is really expensive. So, I don't know. I may have to like, fire up the stove or, get some oven cleaner and fire up the stove. Uh, yeah. So I don't know. I may do that. We'll see. So Mommy Does Keto has just ordered some smoked sea salt from Amazon. Next, I'm gonna get the truffle salt. Yeah. So wait, Mommy Does Keto, did you try the smoked salt from what is it called? Oh, oh my God, I can't believe I'm just totally flaking. Did you try the smoked salt from Redmond's Real Salt? Because that stuff is really, really good. I definitely recommend it. And I do have a link. So yeah, I think you get 15% off. So definitely check that out. Okay. And Erica says French Celtic sea salt is good, stronger than real salt. Sometimes I bathe in it too with the real salt. Okay, all right. Wait, why do you bathe in it? Or what happens? Do you use it like an exfoliator? Because I've definitely seen like, those like oils mixed with salt and you rub it and exfoliate your skin. So let me know. And but yeah, it definitely is saltier than than I'm used to with salt. So I've like over salted a whole bunch of things. I've had to really like tone it down. Susie says, I'll need to try the salmon fried in butter. That sounds wonderful. It is wonderful. And I never thought I would say this, but the bones in the canned salmon are amazing. It's like, has a kind of a nutty texture. And, it just makes it has like an interesting texture and flavor. And of course, you get a ton of calcium because you're eating the bones and the skin and, you get all the good stuff. So, I definitely recommend it. Um, Erica says in it, not on it. Okay, so that means you bathe in it. Okay, got it. Yeah, Mommy Does Keto, salmon and butter are a delicious combo. Um, okay. Okay, Mommy Does Keto says, yes, I ordered theirs too, meaning Redmond's Real Salt. And I was curious about the more affordable brand. So, is the more affordable brand that you are talking about, is it the San Francisco sea salts? Is it that brand? Because I've ordered theirs and I found it to be good, but not nearly as good as Redmond sea salt. So I'd be curious to hear about what you were thinking as well, or what your experience is as well. Okay, Erica says exfoliation and detoxifying. Okay. Yeah, that's good use of salt. I think. I enjoy I love a good bath and yeah, exfoliating and detoxifying is nice. That is exactly what you want to do in a bath. So, yeah. So, any questions, from you guys about your experience eating out and eating on the road with a carnivore? What are your top favorites? And yeah, how are you, making it all work out? I'm still trying to find, still looking out and keeping an eye out for the other types of things that I might eat. I noticed there is like a five-star restaurant near me now that is, I think it's called Black and Blue, and it sells steak and crab. Like those are the two things. So I am like, yes, I am going here. My birthday's next week. I am going to treat myself to a really fine dinner and have a good time. So looking forward to that for sure. Okay, Mommy Does Keto says yes, it's San Francisco Salt Company. Excellent. So I definitely report back on what you think. I'm really curious because I I've liked it. I've like got a bunch of different ones from them, and I enjoyed it. Um, but I also really liked Redmond's, so definitely let us know how they compare. Now, I have never heard of bacon salt. Where do you find that? Did you say you saw that on Amazon? I have not seen that before. That sounds utterly amazing. And yeah, I will definitely have to order that. That sounds like it rocks. Definitely. So, so yeah, I'm enjoying this experience of being carnivore out of the house, and and I kind of decided to kind of roll with it and be willing to eat whatever is out there and not try to necessarily have things available. I did that first day because I really wasn't sure what was going to happen, and I figured I'd be really hungry after, moving all of this stuff. And oh my God, that move was so hard. I cannot believe how much stuff I had in my apartment, and I live on a third floor walk up with a tiny staircase, and it was physically just grueling. So I don't want to do that again. I'm never going to collect stuff again. I am now a minimalist and I am not going to have things at all. So that is definitely how I feel. And I feel like, and I'm going to continue on that in that vein. But yeah, it was a really grueling couple of weeks doing that, and just kind of getting rid of everything. So I didn't want to be like super hungry in the drive up to Albany, but it turns out, really it wasn't a big deal. I don't know. So it's been, now I guess I don't know if I just have been too caught up being in an apartment and being, not having anything that is drawing me out of the house, no activities that I really need to do, if that's really been the issue. Because now that I'm out and about and doing stuff, it's like it's not really a big deal. If I, have to miss a meal, it's not really a big deal. And if I, have to wait and just have one or two meals a day, not a big deal. So I don't know. I forgot about that. Maybe, maybe working outside the home is a good deal, a good thing for me to do. And it's nice to like get out and about and travel around and everything. Hey, Heather G, welcome. I'm so glad you made it. Yes. So, we are talking about eating out and eating on the road as a carnivore. And I'm just talking about some of the things that I enjoyed and want to eat again. And Ruby is fine. Thank you, Heather. I really appreciate that. I miss you guys too. And yeah, Ruby is doing well. Actually, at the rehab center, they welcome pets to come in. So, every time I walk in, it's like she's a rock star, and everybody wants to come and get her autograph and say hello and pet her and all of that. So she's actually getting a ton of attention, and so it's been good times for her as well. And we're doing quite well, and she's still eating some human food and plus her own food. So, so she's still a carnivore. And in fact, people have offered her other types of food. Like when I was actually moving, there was a guy in my block who, one of the guys who hangs out in front of the bodega, and he wanted to give her a piece of of his sandwich, and I was kind of like, no, don't do that. I don't want you to do that. But he gave her a big piece, and she dropped it on the ground, opened it up, pulled out the ham and the turkey, or the turkey. I was one of those. I think she ate the cheese and left the bread. And I was like, I am not surprised. She is not a big fan of non-meat foods. So there you go. So we're all doing well. And also the thumbnail that I posted for this video tonight was taken in front of the Taste of New York store. So in New York, they have a store that sells, I think, only products that were made locally in New York State. So I always love going into the Taste of New York store. There's always like random interesting things in there. But they definitely have meat and other, various kinds of meat products. So I did get a small package of salami. So that was pretty cool. It was really good. I forgot how much I like salami. I go for the pepperoni all the time, but salami is really good too. And so I enjoyed that. And of course, so I went to New York yesterday, back to the city. I still had like a storage unit to close out and all these other random things to do. So I had a bit of a breakfast, and then I kind of went all day, and then I bought the salami, but I didn't open it until later, and I'm really glad that I had it because it just I was hungry, but I didn't, there wasn't anything that I really wanted to eat that was like, convenient. So it was nice to just have the salami to just take the edge off, and then I knew I would be able to go until I had time to find something else. So, yeah, so it was fine. It's nice to carry those things around and just kind of have them, and so that you can weather any storm or any circumstance that comes up. Yeah, Mommy does keto. That's right. Smart girl. Thank you. Or Ruby's the smart girl. Yeah. Mandel says, "Have you ever tried canned corned beef?" No, I've never seen that. Where do you even find that? Is that I always assumed like where you have tuna, it's all canned fish, but that's actually the category of canned meat. So I don't know. Where do you find canned corned beef? Because I will look for it the next time. I think, I haven't tried it because I've never seen it. I would miss it because I'm not looking for it. Um, Mommy Does Keto says my kids eat the shiznit out of salami. Yeah, yeah. I do. Even as a kid, I always loved salami. That was definitely my preferred. I was absolutely a carnivore from day one. I definitely loved it without a doubt. So I should, I wish I had been exposed to this way of eating as a young person. I think it would have saved so, so much of my difficulties in life. Heather, thank you so much for the super sticker. $20. That is huge, and it really helps me to continue to provide free content like this. I love to talk about carnivore and to help you get focused and excited about it. And yeah, I really just want to keep doing this. So thank you so much for your support. I appreciate it. Um, Okay, Erica says, okay, in the canned meat section, same as canned fish. Okay, so yeah, I'll check it out. I don't really look around. I rarely go to the canned meat section. So, because it's sort of in the center aisles, and we go into the supermarket, and maybe you go to the fancy cheese section, you go to the butcher section, you go to the eggs and the cream area and the butter area, and all of that is sort of on the perimeter of the supermarket. So I almost never have reason to go into any of the aisles unless I'm looking for cleaning products. So I have to remember periodically to like take a look because there's new products and maybe there's something that's of interest. I don't know. Okay, Mandel says it's next to the tuna and sardines in most stores. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna take a look. Tova says, is that the same as corned beef hash in a can? Um, I don't know. I think you have to make sure to look at the can because I feel like corned beef hash has potatoes in it, but I could be wrong, so I don't know. Thank you, Heather. Yeah. So I definitely want to go back into getting the can. I don't know why I forget about canned salmon all the time, but it that's a great option, and it doesn't even need to be cooked. So if you're on the road or there's some reason why you can't um, cook it or heat it up, like it's a great option. So that's awesome, definitely. Okay, Truth. Oh my God, super chat, $20. That is amazing. Uh, this might get you a few gallons at the pump. Yeah, I know, like one or two. Um, my cousin told me in Charlotte, do you guys remember the last time gas went up to like $4 a gallon, or it was approaching $4 a gallon, and it was obviously a huge problem. So apparently there was some guy who was delivering gas in Charlotte who would, drive around to the different gas stations, and he would load up the gas station with the gas. But if you were able to catch him on the road at one of these gas stations, he would let you fill up your tank for $20. And so that was like a real big thing, but it was sort of like an urban legend. But then my cousin found him. She found him twice during that time period. And yeah, that was a really awesome thing. But I always think, I wonder if there's other people who do that, because like that definitely seems like right now that would be a big help for a lot of people. I know this gas is really crazy. All right, Vitamin Lady 8 says, "Hello, I experimented doing all beef and fat and I felt great, but I'm back on all meats. Thank you for your encouragement." Awesome. Welcome. Well, tell us how if you liked the experiment. I know a lot of people, like, they come and they try this and they want to get really extreme and they want to do, like, the beef and fat um or beef, butter, and bacon fast, or something, a little bit more restrictive, which is totally fine, but it's also not necessary. I think that this way of eating is incredibly powerful and helpful. Just, doing the regular eating meat. So if you want to get more strict, you certainly can, but you don't have to if you don't want to. But Vitamin Lady, I'm glad you gave it a try, and let us know what you thought about it. Erica asked, is spam a good option? Um, so, I my feeling is the best option is always going to be fresh whole foods. So the more processed the food, the less good the option is. But sometimes, you got to do the best that you can, and you have to eat what's available. So in that case, spam would be could be a good choice. I think though that you're gonna feel best on fresh whole meat, and then you can add these processed meats as a supplement, or as flavoring, as condiment. So I love my pepperoni, but when I try to have pepperoni as the main part of the meal, I don't feel as good. But if I add pepperoni to my ground beef crumbles, then I feel great, and I've got the wonderful flavor. Okay. So Heather G asked if I'm still having the birthday party. So great question. Next Thursday is my birthday, and it's going to be 50, part two. I wanted to redo last year's birthday. So I am not going to go to Charlotte. There would just be no way to get down there and back up here. It's just too much. And so I think I'm going to go back to the city and hang out and have dinner with a bunch of friends. So, yes, a party, but not as big a party as I might otherwise have had. So, a little bummed about that, but just gotta roll with it, and the circumstances are what they are. So, yeah, just gotta roll with it. But that being said, oh, I think I'm gonna do the dinner on Wednesday night, but Thursday is my actual birthday. So I'm still deciding whether to, do a short live stream and then do something else or what. So I don't know. I will let you all know. I will carry my computer with me, so wherever I am, I'm able to make the decision and let you guys know. But I miss these. I do like doing these live streams, so I don't want to skip it. If I don't, if I don't have to. Um, okay, so let's see. Mandel says prepping for disaster: canned meat, canned beef hash. Oh, corned beef hash has taters. Yeah, okay. Corned beef is just beef and salt. Yeah, that's right. So any kind of hash is gonna have potatoes in it. And Mommy Does Keto says, I eat the rainbow of the animal kingdom. I love that. Exactly. Exactly. Before when I was eating the standard American diet, but trying to be healthier, I took to heart what they said about eat the rainbow. And I used to, when I would go shopping for my vegetables and my fruit, I would make sure to try to get something that was purple and get something that was white and get something that was green and get something that was orange and then get something that was red. And I had, my favorite vegetables within those categories. So I liked red onions and red cabbage, and I liked uh, leeks. I liked, and I like parsnips, which are super sweet, and they're in the white category. I liked orange bell peppers and uh what was the other thing? Oh, I would get purple carrots. I thought that was pretty cool. I just like purple foods. And I would get red peppers, and what other colors are there? There's not a lot of blue things, like really blue things. And then, so yeah, I would get that. And I would, it was important to me to try to eat the rainbow and eat, all the different things. And so now you're right. Like we can, Mommy Does Keto, you're right. We can eat the rainbow as far as, the meats go. We can eat different types of meat, whether it's beef, chicken, pork, or lamb, or goat, or we can eat different parts of the body, whether it's muscle meat or bone or organ meats or, tendons and ligaments, or I should say that differently. Connective tissue. Yeah, and those are different ways of thinking about eating the rainbow and making sure that you have that variety. And in fact, probably that is the most important way to think about it. Muscle meat, fat, connective tissue, and organs. So and we all eat all of that every day. So we are eating the rainbow. I know people think, oh, you're eating one thing, but it's like, no, you've been eating one thing. You've been eating chicken breast, and that is one thing. But we have been eating a whole variety of stuff. And it's quite diverse and much better for us. Much better for us. Um, Okay, Heather says at Mandel, I normally buy the Grace brand of corned beef, usually on the international aisle. Okay, I guess I gotta like check out these aisles. I have been, I have been like loving how I come into the supermarket, go right to the butcher, and then just turn around and can leave. But clearly, there's more out there. I'm gonna need to make sure I go, and I'm definitely gonna look for an Aldi's now that I'm out of the city and have a car. It's much easier to do these grocery runs and to try to find different things. I'm loving driving. Ruby loves to drive. I open the window, she sticks her head out. We're just enjoying the ride for sure. And I have I have to say, I mean, of course, I am biased because I am from New York, but I do believe that New York State is the most beautiful state when it comes to the natural environment. So it's great, gorgeous to just look at out there, all of the trees, the vegetation. And I found a hiking trail that is nearby, so that is really nice too. I'm gonna have to go get a flea and tick collar before we really explore it, but yeah, I'm looking forward to that too because I definitely need to get. I don't know. I just need some mental decompression. Uh, so you all know how that is. Let's see. Heather G, yeah, part two, 50 part two. So not yet 51. Mommy does keto. You like yellow. Oh yeah, yellow, of course. Duh, yellow foods. So yellow peppers fit in there. I didn't, I stopped eating fruit, I think, long ago. And I don't remember why. I do remember my dad saying that fruit and vegetables are like they're equivalent in terms of getting your nutrition. Like there's nothing that you can't get in vegetables that you can only get in fruit. And so I actually felt such relief when he said that because, fruit is expensive. I don't know if you like pay attention to that kind of stuff, but like fruit and vegetables are expensive, but fruit is especially expensive. Probably, the weight of it and all the water in it just makes it weigh so much that, you spend a lot of money on it. So when I learned that, I was like, yes, and I essentially just stopped buying fruit. Most of what I bought was vegetables. So to know that I could, eat the rainbow just as vegetables was a real plus. And so as far as getting the color yellow in with vegetables, I think I was only doing it. I already knew that corn didn't work for me. So I was doing it through yellow peppers and maybe summer squash. um, I don't know. I can't think of anything else, any other yellow vegetables. So, blueberries. So, mommy does keto. I feel like blueberries are more, I mean, I guess they are blue, but I feel like it's easier to find purple things than blue things. Blueberries are one, but that's kind of it. And mold or blue cheese. There's not a lot of blue things, though. Okay, Mandel says I'll check it out. I get a little bit of canned goods. I used to make corned beef hash, but oddly haven't eaten corned beef by itself since going carnivore. Corned beef is delicious, I think. So go for it. And Susie says I never thought that I would like sardines or fatty red meat, but they're great. There are a lot of options. Yeah, absolutely. I, you know, I always knew I was gonna love fatty red meat. But I didn't think I would like various kinds of canned fish, and yeah, they are good. They are good. Tova says, "Preach, A Day, preach." Yes, I'm so glad that some portion of my message touched you. I'm not even sure what I was saying, but yeah, I really just want all of you to be able to do this and to follow it as easily or and with as much delight as I do. So yeah, let's see. Mommy does keto says just eggs can make you can make 100 ways. There's plenty of variety in animal food, seafood, yum. Yeah, it's totally. I know there's so much variety. I don't know why people say stuff like that. It's just like just because you're eating only chicken breast and, I don't know, and turkey breast doesn't mean that there's no variety out there. Uh, okay, Team Malice 2009 says hate Aldi's. Tell me why. Why do you hate Aldi's? And Mommy Does Keto says I heart New York. Yes, agreed, agreed. I probably drove past you yesterday, Mommy Does Keto. I don't know where you were, but I drove up the Palisades last night, and that was absolutely beautiful. That is my favorite way to ride up to Albany. It's beautiful. Maria's Dollhouse, welcome. I so glad you're here, and yes, say hi to everybody. I'm so glad that you are here in the house. So Leslie says, make your own spam, pork shoulder and ham, pulverized and pressed into a loaf pan. Wait, what? Um, okay, so you make your pork shoulder and you shred it, what? Shred it with a fork and then press it all into a loaf pan, and then what, you do you bake it again, or do you just, eat it like that? I mean, I'm kind of liking that idea. I feel like I could do that. I don't know. Or do you like, when you say pulverized, do you mean like puree, or what? I'd love to know what you mean. My uncle is on a puree diet, and I made a big fuss because I mean he's always been very heavy, but he has lost probably 70 pounds um since in the past year. Like I don't know if he just hasn't seemed to been able to figure out like how to get himself food. He has the money, he has the car, he has the means, he has the phone. Like there are lots of ways to get food to you, and he hasn't been able to figure out how to do that. So he has lost a significant amount of weight. And when, at the rehab center, I talked to the dietitian, and he's like, well, we like to, we don't want to have him gain weight, and, he's still quite heavy, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but like a diet of applesauce is not going to help him to recover. I was like, he needs protein, he needs nutrients, like he needs food, actual food, not applesauce. And I know that that's the easiest thing, and he's willing to eat it and blah blah blah, but we got to have actual food. So, apparently they have super concentrated things that have like more calories, more protein, and more vitamins and stuff in them. So that is what we decided to do to make sure that he, is getting stuff. And I'm like, to the dietitian, he's not even finishing his food. Like, so he's not getting, if he's not eating a whole plate, he's not getting, the full nutrition that you're even expecting him to get. So, so now they've doubled up on the protein. I'm I'm, low key getting him to be carnivore because I'm like, if he's not going to eat everything, I'm going to start with the meat, and then, we'll work our way around and have a little, mashed potatoes and get to the vegetables last. And yeah, so he's getting double portions of protein and and some like, well, extra protein stuff. And so and I'm always like, well, should we keep it low sugar because he's diabetic? And they're like, well, we have standing orders for insulin if his insulin gets too high, but right now, or if his blood sugar gets too high, but right now it's mostly under 200, so we're okay. And I'm like, oh, I mean, this is a bigger, complicated case. I can't, I don't feel like I can bring up, and start talking about, well, let's get his insulin down. Like, there's so many things to deal with, but, it's not great. So I'm pushing to get more protein. There's not a lot of fat in there, I think, although I don't know. But at least for now, there's more protein. And actually, I'm wondering if I shouldn't bring in like coconut oil or something like that, because having more um, medium chain fatty acids would, perhaps help his brain. So I don't know. That's some of what I've been thinking about. Um, Mommy Does Keto says, Leslie, you've got to give us the details. I'm intrigued. Yeah, I want to hear about this homemade spam. That sounds super helpful. Mommy Does Keto says these dietitians just follow the guidelines. I don't think they know what real nutrition is. Yeah, yes, absolutely. And in fact, it was so weird. There was an aide who came in and like basically gave me her own rant about the diet and how bad it was, and that they didn't even have a diabetic plate that was pureed. So they just take the regular plate that's pureed with all the sugar that's in it. And yeah, so even there are people in the system that are, horrified, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've just gotta say to all the people I know around me, like, when it's my turn to be in the situation, here's what I want you to do. And I don't know. But I just want to work as hard as I can not to end up in that situation, because it's tough. And I don't know, I think that he will recover somewhat, but it's I don't know. I don't know that there's a lot. um I don't know how much better he can get. So I don't know. Eat better, guys. Eat better. Make sure that you keep your health, and stay strong. Absolutely stay strong. I can't. It takes so much energy and strength to be sick, that you really have to be strong going into an illness. And that is the opposite of what actually happens. But it is really making me watching this, it's really making me see that in order to do well and recover from illness, you have to be really strong going into it. And if you are weak going into it, it's just going to be a very long recovery, and you may not get back to where you were before in terms of strength, or or your ability. So okay, Mandel says, can you cook him egg yolks? My father is good on egg yolks. So right now they're not letting me bring any food because it has to be pureed, and if it's and they are not confident that I can puree food from outside to the texture that he needs it. But yeah, I was thinking, hey, maybe I can, make a nice salmon, and and so it would have a lot of omega-3 in it. I could get some more MCT oil into it, and I could give him that. But no. So hopefully soon he'll be able to chew better, and then I'll be allowed to bring him some stuff. But and then, I was like, well, what else could I bring him? I thought about, maybe pate. That might be a good option. If I buy pate, it's probably gonna have some sugar, but I figure whatever, even a little liver might be good. But then, so I was talking to the speech therapist who, is also teaching him how to swallow and everything again. And, so I was like trying to come up with things. And, of course, her option was ice cream. And I was like, oh, dude, the guy is also lactose intolerant and using a bedpan. Do we really want to give this person ice cream? Come on. Why are you guys not thinking? But yeah, there you go. Maria's Dollhouse says, made a spam loaf with ground pork and beef prior to carnivore, using tender quick, not too healthy, but oh, tastes fantastic. Wow, I love that. I love ground pork. I do. It tastes so good, and I love this idea that you mixed it with beef and made a meatloaf. Um, I don't know what tender quick is. I assume that's actually, I don't know what that is. So tell me what that is. But man, just making a meatloaf with ground beef and ground pork sounds perfect. So I'm there for that. Absolutely. Tova says we have to advocate for ourselves and our loved ones. Yeah, absolutely. Um, And I mean, I wonder, like, doing something like trying to get him on a ketogenic diet, like, that has so many other implications in terms of medication that it would change. And I just feel like the nursing staff and they would just be like, it's too many things to pay attention to. Plus, this place has a wave of COVID going through on the floor that he's on. So, so there's also that. And the state was there investigating to make sure that everything is going well. So I think between that and me, being a pain in their butt, that they have definitely stepped up their game and they're doing everything they're supposed to do. But now in week two, I every time I go to the floor, I'm given goggles and an N95 mask. Whereas before it was like, oh, do what you want. Um, but yeah, so and I have to get a COVID test every single time I go, which is, it's good. Good to know people aren't bringing it from outside. So yeah, but it's been a random experience there for sure. Glenda says, I consume coconut oil every day for my neurological condition. Yeah, I've been wondering about what that would do for my uncle. So tell me, Glenda, if you notice a difference. I mean, I might get it for him and see if that helps any. I don't know. Mandel says fried egg yolks stay soft. Mashed sardines and butter cooked up. It helps everything. Enough to fit a palm-sized single-serve cup. Protein and fat has amazing results. You know, that's not a bad idea, Mandel. Maybe I would just make like, you know, basically deviled eggs without the whites. And what would I mix it with? Because I wouldn't want to use mayo, but maybe I could mix it up with butter. You know, you guys are coming up with great ideas. I'm loving this Mandel. I think I might do that and yeah, and make that for him. So it'll be nice and smooth and it will be really good nutrition. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. So maybe even tonight I will go get some eggs because I'm heading over there tomorrow in the morning. Okay, nice. And okay, so Leslie's back with information about this spam because inquiring minds want to know for sure. So Leslie says take raw pork shoulder and ham, mix it into a sticky paste in the food processor. Oh, okay. Not at all what I was thinking. Okay, and then you bake it in a meatloaf pan. So I guess I'm wondering how is that different from ground pork? I mean, I guess ground pork, like ground beef, is sort of bigger pieces, but I don't know, is that different than just ground pork? Let me know. And Maria's Dollhouse says tender quick is an additive used to cure meat fast. Oh, okay. So why would you need to add that to a mix of ground beef and ground pork? Uh, why would you need it to cure? So yeah, don't add that. But without that, that sounds tasty, ground beef and ground pork. So I don't know. You guys are coming up with delicious things. These are not things that you can get on the road, but they are, things that are pretty easy to pick up at any grocery store. And I mean, I'm cooking on the stovetop mostly or exclusively, so I can think of some ways to make these things. Uh, but, I don't know, maybe I It's time to make some hamburgers again, I think, on the stovetop. I'm looking forward to doing that. Yeah. Glenda says, I notice a huge difference as far as increasing brain clarity and decreasing anxiety. Excellent. All right. Well, then I will try that. I'm definitely gonna make that. And maybe I can get some pate too. Glenda, do you notice, have you had any pate or, made liver for yourself, and have you noticed a difference? Because I feel like my uncle is like constantly sleeping, which, I mean, healing is exhausting business. But I don't know if, having something that helps perk up the brain would be helpful. So, yeah, so let me know. And Maria's dollhouse says tastes very much like spam or cured ham. Okay. All right. Marwin Braun, corned beef. So are you asking what is corned beef? Because it is a way of cooking and preparing brisket, I believe. Mommy does keto, so smash burgers in a pan, crispy and delicious. Nice. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, guys. So I have had a delightful time talking to you, but I think it is time to wrap it up. And next week, if I will let you know in advance if I'm going to do the live stream, but if I do, it will be on my birthday, which would be a wonderful way to. I would really enjoy spending, some portion of my birthday with all of you. And yeah, and just uh, you know, ringing in the second half of my life with a live stream and with talking about carnivore would be something that I would really, really enjoy. And I look forward to telling you more about eating on the road, eating away from home, and just kind of going with the flow. So, yeah, I will share all of that. Hey, Johnny G. Um, hi and bye. Sorry you joined so late, but I will see you soon, and I hope you watch the replay. Glenda says, no, I definitely feel it perks up my brain. Okay, so yeah, I am definitely going to do that. I'm going to start with the egg yolks and the butter, and then I will look for some pate, and hopefully he'll appreciate that. Okay. All right, everyone. Tova says, stay strong, A-Day. You got this, lady, and happy V-Day. Thank you. Thank you all, and have a wonderful night.